Hello athletes, in this video today we're going to be talking about how to effectively draw the handle into the release position of the stroke. I know there's a lot of videos out there talking about rowing and technical training, but a lot of them just kind of gloss over the final points. As is the character for my videos, I do like to dive deep into the weeds, go into the nuance of everything, and we are going to be doing that today in terms of how to bring that handle into the sternum with maximal effectiveness. Now, the first thing I want to review before I go into the specifics of how is I want to talk about where. All right, so where are we drawing the handle into the body? All right, your common point of reference is going to be your sternum. So you just kind of tap that sternum in the center of the chest. For the most part, the bottom of that sternum is going to be your target. Now, this is a little tricky, and I think this is where people overgeneralize a little bit in terms of that target. If you're on the water, then that is definitely a good place to be because you can adjust your rig both in the inboard of the oar and in the oar lock in order to hit that target while holding the blade in the water. The erg, you don't have that adjustability. So while a lot of people will say you should be bringing it to the same place on the erg as you would on the water, which isn't going to be relevant at all for those that are not rowing on the water, but that sternum point might change depending on how tall your torso is, all right? Because the point where the chain is coming off of the flywheel is at a fixed point, all right? So if you have a shorter torso, then in order to draw that handle in with a more or less horizontal power application, you might need to go a little bit above the sternum. If you have a particularly tall torso or you have particularly thick thighs, which are going to raise your effective torso height, then you might come a tad lower, all right? But we don't want to get to an extreme in either direction where you are going to move out of the ideal range of motion for your primary movers, all right? And we'll talk about what those primary movers are in a moment, all right? But to illustrate that sternum position, when we're coming into the sternum, it's very important that we're keeping a loose grip on the handle, right? We don't want a death grip. You should be able to move that thumb all around, all right? And on the recovery, you should be able to kind of do a little piano fingers, and that will help to ensure that you're not death gripping that handle, all right? That we're not going too tight, all right? So we want a nice loose grip, just like you would use if you are rock climbing, all right? So you want to create a hook, but you don't want, that death claw. All right, so we brought that in. And then we can also sit in this position with me, find that sternum point, and then we can experiment with exactly where those elbows are coming. And what you'll find is you'll have kind of a sweet spot range here in the middle. So if you then sit in that position and you gradually move your elbows down into what I call this T-Rex grip, you'll feel a little bit of pinching happening in the back and maybe even a little bit in front of your torso, all right? We don't want that, all right? We want those muscles fully released to produce power, all right? And if you're using those muscles in a stationary position, then clearly we don't want to be in that position because we don't want those muscles used except for the creation of impulse. Now, if you go in the other direction with those elbows and continue to come up, you're going to start to feel a little bit of tension in the shoulders and in the traps, all right? We also don't want that tension. I'll talk to a lot of my rowers about keeping maximum distance between your shoulders and your ears. So with the really young kids, I'll just say you want to be kind of a curious turtle, all right? So you want your head out of your shell. You don't want to be kind of getting in there into that shell, into the shoulders, all right? So you want to keep a nice long neck, all right? And in order to do that, you've got to keep the shoulders relaxed. If you bring those elbows up too high, you're going to start to tense up those shoulders, and that's going to decrease that distance, all right? So find that sweet spot. Is it necessarily straight back like a lot of people advocate? I don't believe so, all right? I think that there is a range and you need to find where you're most comfortable and where you are most powerful. Now, the biggest thing and my inspiration for making this video is making sure you guys understand exactly what muscles that you're gonna use to bring that handle into the release, all right? And the muscles we wanna use are the muscles of the back, all right? So we wanna make sure that we understand that the handle moving from arms extended to the sternum is a draw and not a pull, all right? So specifically, we want to move the handle by bringing the elbow back with the lats, with the triceps. We do not want to move the handle by bringing the hands in. So if I demonstrate from a side angle here, if we have extension in the arms, all right, you can move the handle either by pivoting from the elbow, all right, which is going to engage your bicep, or you can do it by drawing the elbow back, all right, by using the lats and the triceps, all right? And so both of which are going to achieve your goal of bringing the handle into the sternum. The difference being If you use your elbow as the pivot point, you're going to be engaging your weaker biceps. If you draw your elbow back and therefore bring the handle to the sternum, then you're going to be using those big muscles of the lats and some strong muscles here in the triceps, all right? And so you want to use your back as much as possible. And then if I do that with the handle, we're there, we're at full extension. I am drawing the elbow back, all right? And you'll notice also that you can see the elbow move through the rib cage at the release, all right? That's a good sign that you're drawing the handle back with the elbows. Whereas you'll see a lot of rowers, especially self-taught rowers, kind of do something like this, all right? Well, they'll bring that handle in and those elbows will stay beside the body because they have used the curl motion rather than the row motion in order to bring that handle into the sternum, all right? And so if you're self-coached, self-taught, then just sit in front of a mirror on your side, and you can watch, are my elbows moving through the ribs, or am I kind of coming in here, all right? Certainly a bent wrist is going to be a big sign, all right? We don't want to have those T-Rex arms. We want to bring the elbows back. We don't want to be up super high so that there's tension in the shoulders. We want to make sure that we're using the muscles effectively, and those are the muscles of the back, not the muscles of the front of the arms. And then we can see that applied to the full stroke here. And then to show you the incorrect application of a pivot, mostly through the elbow, and that's how we want to bring the handle effectively into the sternum, all right? Not a curl, definitely a row. The pivot, the motion is not in the hand moving back. The motion is in the elbow being drawn through the ribs, bringing the handle back because you're connected elbow to handle through the forearm. If you found this video helpful and you want more technical videos like it, definitely throw a comment down below, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you want more like it. A lot of in-depth training talk on this channel. Not for those with casual interest, not for those with the shortest attention span, but if you really want to know the hows and whys of your training, subscribe to the channel, check out the other videos, you won't be disappointed. And if you're interested in some one-on-one coaching, either with a training plan, a short consult talk where I can answer your questions, or if you want a coach Zoom session, check out gtsrowing.com. I offer all those services on my website. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your rowing.